Alright, so millennials are getting worse, it seems, on hate speech versus free speech, actually advocating for a government that can prevent certain types of speech deemed offensive. Alright, so no one has apparently ever told millennials about Thomas Paine in his book Age of Reason, which was a rather scathing critique on religion. At the very beginning, in the introduction, Thomas Paine writes succinctly and remarkably on the importance of free speech for everyone, not just those who are speaking, but for those who are listening as well. He writes, "I put the following work under your protection. It contains my opinions upon religion. You will do me the justice to remember that I have always strenuously supported the right of every man to his own opinion, however different that opinion might be to mine. He who denies to another this right makes a slave of himself to his present opinion, because he precludes himself the right of changing it. The most formidable weapon against errors of every kind is reason. I have never used any other, and I trust I never shall." Now, why is this statement, written centuries ago, still of utmost importance? It's the bubble that too many millennials are far too comfortable in, and they're supportive of laws that will reinforce their bubble, preventing them from hearing things they don't like. When they advocate for laws that forbid speech, they do not just harm the speaker, they harm themselves, and they make themselves a prisoner to their own thoughts. They deny themselves the opportunity to grow, learn, adapt, or change. Not only this, the moment they begin supporting laws to forbid speech, they're merely admitting that they can't defend their position and they can't argue their stance. I'll give you an example. I think the war on drugs has wreaked utter havoc in U.S. cities, in South America, and in Mexico. It is a huge reason why a large percentage of the chaos that exists in these places exists at all. Drug prohibition is the root cause of an unbelievable number of innocent people being kidnapped or killed, and the war on drugs have prevented people from being able to use ibogaine, for example, which is a drug that has a very potent anti-addictive property that have gotten many people off drugs and stopped people from continuing addictive and destructive habits. Ibogaine is, of course, illegal, and you can be thrown in jail for it, despite the fact that it could be a large part of the solution to our addiction issues. Now, that's what I believe, and I can defend my positions quite well, but the moment I say that someone who supports the war on drugs, or someone who believes in the continued prohibition of ibogaine or marijuana, the moment I say that those people should be barred from speaking their mind or thrown in jail if they do speak their mind, I've just shot my position in the foot. I revealed myself to be weak intellectually. The moment you need to utilize the force and violence of government to ensure those who you oppose end up in jail or have the threat of arrest hanging over their head if they express themselves, that is the moment you've exposed yourself as incapable of defending your own positions. And if you're unable to defend your own positions, then if you have any dignity at all, you sure as hell shouldn't be advocating for a government that defends your positions with violence. The Ben Shapiros, Jordan Petersons, Stephen Crowders, these people have raised a lot of arguments against many SJW positions, which SJWs have not been successful in rebutting. Now, perhaps at some point an intellectual heavyweight will rise up in the SJW movement and give them all a run for their money. Probably unlikely, but it could happen. But it will never happen if you make illegal any resistance to your side. It cripples you. It makes you far weaker. For example, the only reason why I'm pretty decent at debating Marxists and critiquing their ideas is because I expose myself quite often to their preachments, to their writings, to their arguments, and to their conversations. I try and understand where they're coming from, how they see the world, and where their logic is coming from. Well, they don't have any logic, but you know what I mean. Marxists are the number one reason why I know a thing or two about Marxism, and I wouldn't know anything about it, and I wouldn't be able to argue against it if Marxist ideology or Marxist rhetoric were made illegal. And that is exactly what millennials seem to not understand. By advocating for laws to prohibit speech they don't like, they decay their own intellectual mind. But that is all for now. Like and subscribe, and you all have a good one. Thank you.